global awards, including the Alternative Nobel Prize, which is a kind of unique award, as well as the UN Environmental Program's Global 500 Roll of Honor, the Manuel L. Quezon Governance Award. I mean, there's so many awards. A Standing Filipino Award, and so on. Ang point lang is that if they check it, there's a list of qualifications that are 16 pages. Because on top of all of that, I have actually advised 2 presidents. I have advised senators, congresspeople, cabinet members, governors, and mayors in almost 30 years of the fund. Some of the names of president. I was an advisor to Perlas Aquino. I was a technical consultant of on the Bataan nuclear power plant when she decided to mothball. Kay Ramos, I was the co-chair of the Philippine Council for Sustainable Development at the time, President Ramos, and he was the government chair. Shell Habito was the government chair, but he was the convener. And we passed a lot of legislation and policies that way to try this kind of process. I've negotiated on behalf of the Philippine government and the United Nations, and I've negotiated with them in the bloc of 130 countries called the G77. I'm outside government, but I'm totally familiar with what's happening inside government because my advice has been asked time and time again. That's why I can write my own platform. I wrote my own 24-page platform because I was the co-author for Civil Society Philippine Agenda 21, which is supposedly the government's blueprint for sustainable development. We crafted it at the Ramos administration. ERAP continued it. Arroyo ignored it, although did not repeal it, because she thought that environment is compatible with poverty eradication. A very narrow, totally unsophisticated notion of sustainable development. So, that's the kind of track record. I'm not really ignorant. My advantage is that...
How about on leadership?
For example, I'll just finish my thought.
Okay.
The advantage of an outsider is that you enter the system with knowledge of the system, but no emotional loyalties to anybody. You're going to really transform the system. And people know that I have a zero tolerance for corruption. Really zero. Because my life has been unblemished in that respect. And I fought against corruption in Marcos' time, in the time of Arroyo, Aquino, the Department of Agriculture corruption of Aquino, and then the time of Estrada. So it's easy to transform it in this way. Leadership, I have had to convince the leadership of 5,000 civil society organizations to take a stand on APEC, and then that's 3 million members, the leadership of those 5,000 organizations. And then they appointed me as lead negotiator with the Philippine government and in APEC for civil society. One of the most difficult things to do is to convince 5,000 different leaders to move towards something. Because the civil society is the strength of an idea. It's the strength of a persuasion. It's the strength of a vision that makes people come together. Not money, not power, and so on. So therefore, when I enter into government, where you're the chief executive, and where the tendency is that the power of the president over all these agencies, over 1 million employees, is going to be easy to accomplish what I did outside just through persuasion. Because now I have the direct decision-making power to actually do something. I also organized the first and only massive protest on nuclear power in the world, historically. Hasn't been repeated. Just based upon idea and persuasion. And facts, very clear facts. We got the largest signatories of opposition in the history of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission when 20,000 Americans signed petitions against the export of the Bataan nuclear plant. So I think the leadership is very clear. I'm just a quiet person, but when I have to really do something, it will be done. I don't like to talk and then not do it.
Apparently, the audience at ANC Forum were more impressed with the delivery of their issues than the issues themselves.
Yes.
So how can you resolve that kind of problem
So,
with the
this is
viewing public?
Yeah, now this is part of the media spin.
Right.
This is part of the media, what I was saying, winnability virus. They place our supporters at
Very
the
far.
end, very far, away from the microphone, and did not take close-ups. They placed Ninoy Aquino supporters right near the front.
Also
with
Gibo.
posters.
And
With a
also
lot
Gibo
of-
also, I
Yeah,
think.
Gibo. Yeah, they placed people in front. We were there at the back. She was there. She was placed way back at the end. And I was wondering, even before the start, I was wondering dahil ang hina ng clap ng supporters ko, so I thought I had very few. Then we were allowed 50 each, and so we had the 50 each. Yeah. And so when
You
I
were
was
8
wondering-
there, right? 8 of you.
Yeah, we're 8.
Ano? 7 pala wala sila.
And so when we did it, ba't ang hina? Then I found out ganun. So ang nangyari, because it was a partisan crowd and the media magnified claps and house and all of this, people were derailed from listening to the substance. But what is important for me, is very interesting, is that after that, a lot of national leaders went to me, wanted to develop a partnership because they actually saw my response in harapan.
Pero I noticed in some of the comments that they like that anong balagtas na yun? They like those, they like,
Balagtasan.
yung the
Yeah.
way the powerful, they want to
Yes.
parang yan ang gusto ng viewing public. They didn't like the way of saying po
No,
down.
that one I think can be begun next time. I said po too many times. That's okay. It's fine. I admit that. But
I think in TV they want to see the way you deliver. The issues can be discussed outside in more detail.
right. But I was surprised that even seasoned observers went more for the spin rather than the substance.
I don't know.
Many of the presidential candidates were not answering the questions. If you listen to how they were answering, they would seem to answer and then they just do their spiel, they do their campaign. They were not answering questions. I was one, maybe of two, who was really answering questions to the point. For example, the question of what will you do in 100 days? I was the only one who answered the question.
I had a platform.
Yeah, not only that, but the actual 100 days. That's what was being asked. They didn't answer it. So, sa akin, that's just one forum. And there are many others.
Yeah, many forums.
There's still many forums, and people have seen the